Could it possibly already be weird? And don't look at the top left. Don't. Okay. Well, I guess we'll bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres. It is our blue Terran player playing for Good Game Gaming. This is Dream.
And in the top right, going for that very, very early 12 pool. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Qualm Freaks, it is ARMANI.
Oh, man. I mean, this is like super, super, super early. And I can't help but notice there's no scout. None at all. So, I mean, this isn't like a crazy position by any stretch. I mean, a lot of people will take the SCV off the barracks and use that as an opportunity to scout as well. But, I mean, in what world would you expect? I mean, winner's final, game 1. My opponent's gonna... What? Titan. Like, Armani's not messing around. He doesn't want to play this game out. He wants to see it done by, like, the 3-minute mark, tops. He's got places to be.
This is glorious, ARMANI. What? This is a CBZ build. What are you doing, ARMANI? This has the potential to be glorious. It also has the potential for Dream to immediately put down that reactor. Cancel the Reaper. Cancel the Reaper. No! Dream! It's all going downhill. The Lings are here. The drones are here. This is about as fast.
What do you even say? What do you even say to this? Hopefully this game goes a little bit longer. For Quandong Freaks, this is ARMANI.
And in the bottom left, guess what? It's only been about 4 minutes, but he's already up 1-0. From Good Game Gaming, it is Dream.
Okay.
And I like to think that was like the supervillain like moment for ARMANI, where he's like, you have beat me once, but I gave you that wind in order to make you overconfident, and now I'm going to 2-0 you.
Oh, and like the thunder and lightning goes off in the background, and
yeah.
as we pan into like the superhero like trying to order a cheeseburger at the restaurant, and it's just Dream going, yeah, can I get a number 2? But can you actually hold the onions this time? I'm kind of allergic.
Yeah, I gotta get ready to go fight a villain and something like that in like a few minutes. So.
Oh gosh, that was wild. That was just that was fun. I mean, I think that's a Hall of Fame game. Now, all right. So sit and speculate with me some more here at Titan, because we saw the weird 12 drone poll in game 1. Now game 2, we're getting a roach warrant. I think ARMANI meant that. I think he meant that early aggression. I'm still trying to determine if he actually believed that would work in game number 1, but this is at least a lot more standard of a build in game 2.
As I said, complete supervillain moment right here from ARMANI, where he says, listen, I'm going to do the dumbest rush you've ever seen. I mean, maybe not the dumbest rush you've ever seen, but I'm going to do something that should not work at any level. And then he says, but wait, we're going onto a big map? I'll do it again, except a different build. It's going to be 4 roaches now on the way for ARMANI. And you know what? He's just having the time of his life. He's just saying, listen, I got to have some fun here. Come on. And honestly, you know what? If ARMANI wins it, I will have no questions. If he wins this series, I will say he knows what he's doing. He's actually a genius. As the Lings are going to make their way here into the natural. And there's immediately a bunker on the way, as Dream knows that the roaches are on the way. A single Ravager will be morphed. And we'll see if it's going to be any more all in. It doesn't look like it. The droning has commenced. So this is just to delay the Terran as much as possible.
Now, did the Reaper get back far enough to see those roaches? Because I know the Reaper came back home.
Yeah, it saw the one popping out of the natural.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then that is definitely going to be a commitment into this push here, especially since it has been scouted. So ARMANI is going to show up here at the front door. Now, it was a reactor put down onto the the factory, so it is going to be mines. Mines will be enough to hold this back, but obviously that's going to delay any opportunity for a tank coming down. And look at this, the Overlord perched in the right position here. There's actually not enough. There's not enough surface area on that reactor, so the reactor's going to get picked off here. Now that is going to be another building that's under fire here. The supply depot is going to go down. This is a really good position here for ARMANI. He's making this one work.
He is actually getting a ton of damage with this. The add-on going down. Now 2 supply depots as well. Dream is very supply blocked, and mind you, his natural has to be lifted off now. And he's trying to push back that Overlord. Will be able to. Oh! ARMANI not quite getting the Widow Mine there. Means he's not really going to be able to push up this ramp versus the bunker there. You don't want to give away these units. The worst thing that can happen is that you actually lose these Roaches and Ravagers while doing this push. So you want to get as much damage as possible, keep them alive, back on up. So far, a great start here for ARMANI. His Dream is finally getting his Banshees with Cloak on up. ARMANI, though, already at 38 workers, has saturated both of his bases and should be adding on a third just now. And gotta say, this rush worked.
Yeah, this was a much more successful place to play from in game number 2. ARMANI is ahead in his worker count. He's got the map control for the time being. There are some mines coming out here, but these should be relatively dealt with. They're not too hard to deflect away, especially with the Ravager count that he has here at the front. And ARMANI's gonna be able to spot this with the Overlords as well. Oh, beautiful placement here with those bios. Grabs both of them, makes quick work of the incoming aggression. So now it's going to be up to ARMANI to determine how he wants to deal with the Banshee coming across the map. First Banshee is out and moving, the second one on its way as well. And it will be a bio transfer back behind this as well. 2 barracks being plopped down.
Queen is going to be able to poke away at this Banshee as it is in range of the Sport Crawler detection. Looks like actually going up to 3 Banshees here for Dream, so committing a bit more in than you usually do expect the Zerg to. Now, of course, when you're in this situation where the Zerg is going to be on a lower base count for longer because of the build that they've opened with, you can go for that additional Banshee. As honestly, would like to see the Cloak dropped here just so you're not wasting as much energy as Dream, but just decides to keep it up. Doesn't want to spend the energy to re-enable it. And he's going to get quite close to knocking down this hatchery. I actually think there's a little position here where he's out of range. The transfusion has to come through. And ARMANI, this hatchery is getting very low. Dream, I mean, he's just going to be trying to set up a position where he can maybe push this later on in the game. Ooh, Overseer gets here. Queen for a Banshee. But that hatchery getting so low is definitely going to be a threat as this game continues on.
Yeah, the target's now going to be very big on that third base, so ARMANI's going to have to invest a decent amount of resources, both mental and in-game, to keep that base alive. But here comes Aspire as a result of the choices made here in the early onsets. Baneling Nest finishes up as well, centrifugal hooks being researched. The third base still not on site here for Dream. That is a huge disadvantage for the Terran player, who is down 20 supply, only now getting that orbital command out onto location to build up that unit count. And the SCV count really isn't that large as well. It's 50 to 67 of his opponent. And mules are good, but mules are going to have a difficult time trying to close that kind of gap.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Dream is still in overall a decent position. Of course, with the amount of damage he took early, and now the slower third base, it is a bit unfortunate, but he's only sitting behind 14 supply at the current moment, which any Terran is going to be happy with. The worker difference being 12 is obviously a bit higher than you'd like, as these Banshees are going to poke in, and honestly, this is how you start to even up that worker count. Is a bit of miscontrol there. It means that you're only going to get the 3. Dream's just going to keep that Banshee tucked at the back, as now the Marines are coming across the map. They have Stim. They do not have their +1/+1 just yet, and the Mutas are here. Right now we have 7 on the map, looking to maybe try and interrupt these reinforcements, but one is already going to go down. It's just going to be a cancel. Oh, is that a kill?
That's a whole kill.
No, ARMANI forgot to cancel. That's just a kill on a hatchery, and I mean, ARMANI only have 65 workers. That is not money that you can really, you're not really can afford to expend that.
Yeah, so now he's got to get across the map here and find some additional damage. He will be able to jump on top of the retreating medevacs and does pick off one. Does come at the cost of some additional damage. Ooh, yeah, a few of those mutas getting a little bit too close to the action. Those do have to fly back and away. This third base is going to stay relatively secured for right now. But I think a big piece of the equation here for Armani is the upgrade disadvantage. His 1-1 melee and carapace is very, very heavily delayed here. +1 flyer attacks, a little over halfway done. And that is something that's going to plague Armani for quite some time, as 2-2 is now started here for Dream. Dream's going to be able to capitalize on some additional damage here. Widowmine finding some more connections here. That'll finally get picked up. Will it?
Oh,
yes. Yes. But Dream now has to... Oh, gosh. Man, Dream is just all over Armani right now, not allowing him really the map control that he so desires and that he requires here with these mutas, but now finally getting to pick up an additional medevac. That's going to be helpful, at least a decent amount of damage that Armani can be proud of, and it's a small amount of investment towards more mutas, but ultimately it's just going to be Armani trying to stabilize his economy as he builds more drones.
Yeah, and that fourth base is going to be finishing up now for Dream in this natural base. Has reinforcements ready. Catches 2 workers here. It does Armani on that transfer, but you already have missile turrets ready. It's just going to look for the gas geyser, and that's already a nice pickoff. Ooh, this was fired down. Oh, this trap. Dream is actually going to just corral these mutas onto the tanks, and that's not the best position, as 2 of them are going to go down. The mutas will find their way out, and Armani trying to get as much value as he can here with these flying units. Also gets the sensor tower. That information no longer going to be available to Dream, who is working on Thor's Widowmine's drilling claws, and as you said, that upgrade differential. The 1-1 is now done for Armani, but in just immediately 30 seconds, you're going to have 2-2 for the bio of Dream, who's honestly been macroing wonderfully well. Out of the damage that he took early on, he managed to avoid worker losses, I think is a really big part. During that roach rush, you don't lose any workers, and then you still have your natural base. You can replant it. You get back into a good position. His third wasn't even that far behind. The Zergs Armani just already had those drones ready for transfers. Here's going to be an attack coming through for Armani, but you don't have the Banelings here just yet. That was a little bit mistimed by the Zerg.
Yeah, and he, unfortunately, because he committed so far in, he has to take so much damage going out. Here we are again, now Banelings this time in tow, but not able to find those connections just yet. Dream with some very, very careful micro here, trying to keep those units back and away. And those beefy Marauders up front. I mean, just look at them. They're stud muffins here. Those are thick with 4 Cs. Imagine a whole army full of them protecting those Marines. This is just an impenetrable fortress.
Oh my God, Rushi, what have you done? My imagination is running wild, as we are going to have Armani swing around here again, but as you said, those Marauders, they just, you just hear the clap of their armors. It's just, it's too close together, and they're going to be able to push back the Zerg. We have another push on the right side of the map. Dream very, very smartly here, trying to split the map, and that's absolutely how you should be playing against splitting Banes. Baneling connections aren't the best. Should see some pickups here. The evac has to come through. Oh, doesn't save the most Marines from that position, but now on the left side, Dream is going to swing in once again. These Banelings, they're a little bit split up, which means the Marines can just stim away, and the Marauders do their job. They take it up. There's finally a good Baneling connection, though, as we are going to see a few of the Ravagers go down, but the Thor gets trapped on the back end. This is an extremely scrappy fight. As the mutas are going into the main base, we have fights on either end. Queens are also now getting involved as the Widowmine. Oh, no! The tier 3 Twitch subs would not be happy as their Queens go down. Zerglings, fortunately, not going to come in time to save a majority of them. And a lot of them on very, very low health, but the mutas still managing to get damage here in the back of the starport. It's going to go down. That's a pretty big pickoff here for Armani. Alongside the worker damage that he's got done, 22 SCVs have fallen. Reinforcements have constantly been canceled, and Armani is just completely rolling over Dream now, and suddenly there is nothing left for the Terran.
If only there were some big, strong Marauders that could protect all of these vulnerable units. They're not there. It's just a dream turned into a nightmare as Armani secures game number 2. He has overcome his nightmare. But can he live up to his name for Good Game Gaming? This is a Dream.
In the top left for Kwang Dong Freaks, ladies and gentlemen, he's getting once again a little bit cheeky here at the start. He doesn't want long games. Come on, that's boring. It's Armani.
No, if these drones get pulled again, it's going to send me into a realm that you cannot recover me from. You will be unfortunately left to cast the remainder of these games all by yourself. Like, don't do this to me, Armani. Don't do it.
We will see. It's going to be a speed rush, though. Obviously, with the gas here, that means that you're going to get speed for these links, which means it's a bit more all-in than just maybe a 14 pool, which is, of course, a fairly defensive opening, actually, for the Zerg. It helps you to defend against the potential of the proxy racks, as well as offering you the chance to then also commit across the map, depending on how things go.
Oh, it's just roaches.
Oh, never mind. No,
it's not even going to be speed. Well, at least it's not going to be a drone pull. Like, good grief, I don't think I could handle that. So the natural this time is a little bit more of a secure style opening. Now Armani is going to get some lings out just to create a little bit of pressure. I think ideally, like in a perfect world, Armani would be able, oh my gosh, yeah, Armani would be able to just like dodge around the Reaper here, but the logic, I mean, both players have got to be just like thinking in so many different ways right now. Like, what am I looking for? What should I try to do? Armani's like, well, what direction is he going to send the Reaper? And this time it did work out. Dream just goes right up the gut. Actually, I think the SCV picked up the mineral in the wall there. So now, is this going to be in time to pick off the command center? No. Command center's going to be able to finish up just in time. So Armani, with a couple of stutter steps here, does not get the initial damage he's looking for, and the Reaper's going to be able to spot the Roaches and Ravager moving out across the way once again.
This should be a pretty good start here for Armani. He's just going to pull, or for Dream, he's just going to pull everything back, and has that bunker already coming up. Marine as well being produced here from the barracks. I mean, I think ideally you'd actually prefer to have more Marines here so you can fill up that bunker and then have a tank in production. But of course, when you already have these add-ons swapped over, you don't want to spend the extra time building the tank, doing the swap, building the tank, building the Marines. It just takes a little bit too long, as that's going to be a very low supply depot once again. The repairs are coming through in time, though. And the Widowmine shots pick off two of the Roaches, and that's actually means that this start is going to be a little bit worse here for Armani. I mean, unless he can start to get some value here with these Ravagers. Looks like he's going to get the supply depot, but that is already being replenished here by Dream.
Yeah, it's a lot better surface area this time around on the reactor, so the repair is going to be a lot more effective, but it is not completely down and out. There are some good biles that are connecting with these SCVs. At bare minimum, he is drawing them off of the mineral line. 4 of them have gone down, so it's not non-existent damage, but 2 Marauders inside of the bunker, that is absolutely the damage that needs to be happening here. So this defense is going to be, like you said, much better handled here by Dream. So he will be able to chase these away. This Banshee is actually just going to go about its way, and it should be able to keep up with these Ravagers. Picking off 2 of them, that's an incredible amount of damage here. Not to mention that on the other side of the map, a few drones did get picked away at as well. So Dream in a much better scenario. So good, he's going to drop the 3rd base as a response.
Yeah, I mean, Dream is going to be very, very happy with how this game. Sorry, as I leaned away from the mic, then I was still talking. He's going to be very, very happy with how this game is going. I mean, Cloak is on the way right now. I believe just has half the 2 Banshees out. He's not going into a 3rd. Snipes a singular drone. Going to be about, actually, never mind, killed a lot more. That's a lot more kills. Banshee 6 kills in total, but has Stim on the way, and overall right now this is completely in Dream's ballpark.
Well, second Banshee's going to be showing up here and getting additional damage, but the lair already completed. Overseer is going to be taking place, and a Nidus network taking shape here. We are going from just wild build to wild build here for Armani. I think Dream has the opportunity to try and spot this as well. He's going to be able to work his way in with the Hellions. Those are not going to dive quite far enough forward yet either. It's going to be the Banshee, I think, if anything's going to spot it, but right now that Banshee's not going to try and overcommit. That would absolutely be a crime if it were to do that. But the unfortunate part here is that Armani is going to be able to capitalize on a little bit of the surprise factor, provided he's able to find a good spot to drop that Nidus portal. Now, there are additional roaches being built right now. Dream's working his way in. I think this Banshee's actually going to get picked off. And now Armani just going to go straight for the front here. Queens are going to try and push on forward. I don't think Dream has quite recognized what's happening here, but he's got a sense that something's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Dream knows that this is a 2-base play. He has a 5 racks barracks that is going to be on the way. And again, this is the time attack we saw Ryung do against Su, but it's not going to be ready in time. This is a build that needs a bit of time to get ready, to get rolling, to get across the map. You're pretty much betting on your opponent having a 3rd with a 4th on the way. That means that the natural base is now going to be forfeit. And Armani just being absolutely relentless with the pressure in these games. The second Nidus Swarm should get canceled. I don't think that's going to go for the Marauders there. It's far too much damage, but the front is open. That's a supply depot that has gone down. Armani, I don't know if he can push it just yet. Doesn't have Ravagers. I would like to see those morphed from these roaches just to have that ability to knock down the buildings at that wall as well with that additional range. Bez is now you're spreading creep at your opponent's natural. Just Armani things right now.
Well, and this is exactly what you want to do here with the Queens. I love those being brought through the Nidus. Now you're trying to create bigger problems for your opponent to deal with. Suddenly it's going to require a scan to clear up all of this creep. And oh my gosh, there's actually so much creep that has to be dealt with here. That orbital command looking a little low here, dropping below 50% health. That now has to be flown away. The workers are in a precarious position. They are trying to rescue back up to the top, but the Queens have to force the medevacs into the hot pickup. Those are going to be well dealt with. But now look at this. The Nidus Swarm's going to be blocking the 3rd base as well, so there's no accidental expansion here for the Blue Terran player. He's going to have to work for it. This is getting dangerously low, though. Is this going to fall? It does. That's incredible damage here. Now, I think all Armani has to do is just back off. I think he's done enough. He doesn't need to overextend here and lose all these units.
Yeah, I mean, this is massive. Of course, Dream has a 2nd command center because he had built that 3rd very early, but losing that base just hurts so bad. And mind you, Dream wanted to go into 5 racks. And he had the 4th and 5th barracks done, and that's just going to be completely denied. There's a 3rd base already up for Armani, who's at 57 workers. He's going to get another Nidus Swarm up here as the creep is just being more and more annoying. You're going to have to use multiple scans to get rid of it, and you really don't want to use that energy on scans. You want to use it on mules. There we go, Dream. It's going to have to scan away that creep tumor. This Nidus Swarm will get killed, but I mean, right now, Armani is just in such a good position.
Yeah, this is a very, very good spot for the Zerg player here. 122 to 78 supply as Dream now has to. I mean, this is a mandatory moment. He has to find some return damage. Getting across the map and killing off some drones, or at least slowing down the production of his opponent, or slowing down the expansion. Right now, no 4th base on site just yet, and the scan does confirm that. Picks off a couple of creep tumors and it backs off, as he also cannot afford to overextend. If he loses too many of these units, that is just going to allow Armani the opportunity to just push across the map and ultimately just bulldoze his opponent, because right now this 2nd base is wide open.
Yeah, this is a very, very scary position for Dream. If you lose this, you go down into that losers finals. That's just absolutely not a situation that Dream wants to be in, as he's going to unload now into the main base. There are just the Queens here. That doesn't do the best against the bio. And I mean, there's actually not even a lot of transfusion energy, but Dream is just going to have to back up the 1-1. Not going to be enough to keep those units alive. Banshee is still here. This Banshee actually does have 14 kills. Unfortunately, I mean, it's just that Dream, he needs to find anything. He needs to find damage. He needs to just get any ground in this game. And Armani's not giving it to him. He says, listen, I'm on 3 bases. I killed your natural. I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to macro, and I'm eventually going to build a strong enough army that I'm just going to run over you.
Yeah, and this is the kind of a double-pronged aggression that works really well against Armani in the past, but with sizable more forces for Dream missing, this is just not the potency that it needs to be. And instead, Armani is just going to be able to invest his resources into upgrades. He's got a transition path underway. Lurker Den is going to be coming down. We will see some lurkers. The Lings should be able to, just push these off. There's just absolutely no good entry point here for Dream, as his world is slowly starting to become a nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're just you're trying to apply pressure with the double prong drops, give you enough time to get up your own third base. There is a deep tank line here for Dream that he's built up, but you just see how defensive you have to be. I mean, this is so early for the Liberators to come out, but you need that extra defensive unit, as it's 12 Hydralisks on the way for Armani. He has a Lurker Den on the way, and that's going to be his plan for eventually breaking through here. Is Vipers, Roach Ravager, Hydras, and I imagine a few lurkers added in just to top it off with a little bit of extra spice. This is a Zerg approaching maxed out to the 128 supply of Dream. And honestly, if Dream was playing mech, honestly, you might say, well, there's a chance. But with just a bio army, I mean, sure, 2 Liberators, 6 tanks, but you're gonna have 3 Vipers.
The 3 Vipers are going to be incredibly useful. I mean, these drops have gotten just little done other than keeping the creep off of the center of the map. And when that is your victory pose, I mean, that's not a great place to play from. Oh, look at this. These Roaches actually have an opportunity here just to kind of slip on in. Oh, they don't want to commit. Armani pulls those back. Does not want to lose those Roaches, but psych! Gonna lose them anyways. They might as well take a couple of bio units along the way. But at this point, he really could use just the supply ceiling here, because he is at 191. That does free up an opportunity for a couple more lurkers. This Banshee has got a good scout on the main source of the army right now. But once again, Dream just having a difficult time really getting his economy stabilized and his production cooking here. He's at 139. He's got some ghosts coming, but he needs a lot more.
Yeah, and it actually kind of shocks me how defensive Armani is being right now. I mean, I don't know if he realizes just how far ahead he is, but as Dream is adding on 2 additional command centers, he's eventually getting into Ghosts. But mind you, the army that you see at home, that is all of the defenses for Dream. That is most of his army supply right now are in these tanks and in the Ghosts and Liberators that have been added on. I think right now it's 28 of his army supply in the tanks, additional 6 in the Ghosts, and then as well the 6 in the Liberators. It is just, I mean, there's a lot of bio, but right now he's just buying time. He needs to build up a strong enough defense, needs to get his 4th base established, and luckily Armani is actually giving him that time. Armani has a massive army and isn't actually doing anything with it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprising turn of events here for the Zerg player, but it's not like Dream's going to complain. A little bit of a yoink on one of those medevacs does clean that up for the time being. But in reality, Armani's looking at for those Vipers to find Liberators and tanks for sure. Those snipes are going to come down. That's an incredible amount of damage here, as many valuable units are getting picked off. Yeah, the units being brought used to defend back at home, those have to be brought to the front line at this point. Oh my gosh, look at how many lurkers are here. There's already 6 on the field, 9 additional, 15 lurkers. That's a lot of damage potential here for the Zerg player.
Yeah, absolutely. His Groove Spine is also on the way for those Hydralisks. We're going to see Tempted Zergling run by, shut down. His Dream is really just playing Turtle Terran at the current moment. You have small drops around the map that are pushing out, but other than that, it is tanks, it is Liberators, 9 tanks on the map already for Dream. And honestly, Armani kind of playing into, he's playing into the composition of Dream, but what's the best way to deal with a Turtle Terran? Get on the inside of their base. This is going to be lurkers into the main, while Armani's also pulling attention towards the 3rd, and this is just, I mean, how many Terrans have you seen lose a game like this, Rushi?
Oh, this is a very dangerous moment here for Dream. He has to find a way to deal with this. The armory does get picked off here. +2 is not available, and that is a huge upgrade for Dream. It looks like the Nidus Swarm is actually going to be used just to transfer these units from the 4th base into the main. He's found the weakness here. Scans are going to go down to try and mitigate some of the damage of these lurkers, but all of the production is going to be so exposed here. The tanks are not available. They can't afford to leave the front right now. If there were any amount of links coming down to the barrel, that would just be too much for Dream to deal with, and these lurkers are absolutely obliterating the production of Dream.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're camping the production, even if you don't win the game here, you've done so much damage. There are only 5 barracks left, 1 factory, 1 starport. You don't have a lot, and the lurkers are just going to continue to burrow forward. Finally, we're going to see Liberators brought on over, tanks brought on over, but the remax here for Armani, it's 15 lurkers. Another Nidus Storm is going to go down to ferry more units here into the main, or perhaps to provide an avenue of retreat, but no, Armani, he's tripling down, Rushi. It's more units here into the main. Tanks are being ferried up. I mean, right now, Dream is just trying to hold on, but look how many Hydras there are! What the hell, Armani? What? So many Hydras! And usually Hydras don't do good against tanks, but when you have this many, I guess they just do, as he's going to barrel through. The tanks are going to go down. GG, Armani is going to advance on to Code S.
I just was like, when will the conga line of Hydras stop? It's just Hydra, 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 Hydra. It was just a little Hydra printer there for a moment. But wow, what a thrilling series here. Armani taking game number 3, and that advances him into the Code S Season 2. Just